Talking about underappreciated and Rolex almost sounds like a contradiction. Rolex dominates the luxury watch world. Everyone knows the big names. Everyone wants the obvious models. But when you stop looking at hype and start looking at real demand, pricing, and ownership patterns, something interesting appears. Some Rolex watches are quietly ignored, not because they're bad, not because they lack history or quality, but because they don't scream for attention. And ironically, those are often the smartest watches in the catalog. These are 5 Rolex models that deserve far more appreciation as we move into 2026. All of them are current production, all of them are misunderstood, and all of them might surprise you. Let's start with one that sounds controversial, the Rolex Explorer. The Explorer is constantly praised as the perfect everyday Rolex, simple, durable, timeless, and yet, despite all that praise, it underperforms compared to many other steel sports models. The 36mm Explorer often trades below retail, while the 40mm barely clears it. Even two-tone versions struggle. Why? Because the Explorer doesn't show off. No flashy bezel, no bold colors, no visual drama. It's understated to the point where casual buyers overlook it. Ironically, that's exactly what makes it special. It's a Rolex you wear for yourself, not for others. And that quiet confidence is why it remains one of the most underappreciated watches in the entire lineup. Next up is the Yacht-Master, specifically the Rolesium versions with stainless steel and platinum. For years, the Yacht-Master lived in the Submariner shadow. Many people cross-shop them, and most choose the Sub simply because it's more famous. But here's what gets overlooked. The Yacht-Master offers multiple sizes, including 37mm, which Rolex barely touches elsewhere in the dive style category. That alone makes it appealing to a wide range of wrists. Then there's the platinum bezel. Platinum is usually treated as a top-tier material, yet these models often trade around the same price as steel Submariners. That's wild when you think about it. On top of that, the Yacht-Master's raised, graduated bezel design has influenced countless other brands. People copy it constantly, often without realizing where it came from. The Yacht-Master isn't trying to replace the Submariner. It's doing its own thing. And that's exactly why it's undervalued. Third on the list is the Rolex 1908. This is Rolex's modern dress watch, and it's still flying under the radar. When it launched, it didn't generate massive hype, but that doesn't mean it isn't important. The 1908 is Rolex stepping into a more refined, high horology space. Slim profile, elegant design, and a movement that's a step above what most people expect from Rolex. What really makes it interesting is value. On the bracelet, it becomes one of the most attainable all-gold Rolex watches in the current catalog. Compared to gold Submariners, Day-Dates, or Sky Dwellers, it sits noticeably lower in price, while still delivering full precious metal presence. It's also one of the few modern Rolex watches with a visible case back. That alone tells you this model is about evolution. The 1908 is still early in its life, and that's exactly when the smartest collectors start paying attention. Fourth is the Rolex Air King. This watch has one of the longest histories in the Rolex catalog, yet it rarely gets the respect it deserves. It predates the Submariner, GMT Master, Daytona, and Explorer, and today it's still one of the most attainable steel sports Rolex watches available. The Air King is quirky, the dial is bold, the minute track is oversized, the logo uses 2 colors. It doesn't try to look elegant or luxurious, it looks functional, purpose-driven, almost playful. Because of that, many people don't know what to do with it, and that confusion keeps demand low. But for collectors who appreciate character and history, the Air King is one of the most honest watches Rolex makes. Finally, we have the Sea Dweller 43mm. This watch sits perfectly between the Submariner and the Deep Sea. It's larger, more serious, and more tool-focused than a sub, but far more wearable than the massive deep-sea models. For people with larger wrists who want a dive watch with real presence, this is a sweet spot Rolex rarely talks about. What makes it truly underappreciated is pricing. The Sea Dweller often trades below retail on the secondary market, while the smaller submariners trade above it. That creates a rare opportunity, a serious steel Rolex sports watch that you can actually buy without chasing hype. It's bold, it's capable, and it stays true to Rolex's diving heritage without becoming a wrist break. So, there you have it. 5 Rolex watches that don't get the attention they deserve. The Explorer, the Yacht-Master, the 1908, the Air King, and the Sea Dweller 43mm. None of these watches are loud, none of them are trendy, but all of them offer something deeper than hype. And sometimes that's exactly what makes a Rolex worth owning.